Good afternoon. Welcome to another wonderful edition of Restore Honor and Integrity to Ben Salem. I know that there's a lot of buzz going on about the video that showed up over the weekend. If that's not proof enough that there are people in our township that are not only violating their marriage vows, but also abusing the township's trust and using a township-issued vehicle to do what they were doing, I don't know what is. But aside from that, I figure this is a nice, perfect opportunity to say to the Dems, short but sweet, get off your butts and start doing something. I'm hearing Brian Allen supposedly is going to do something, especially ask something about that video. I dare him to. As a matter of fact, I dare him to ask the following things. Ask, in particular, for everything pertaining to the Jerri's lawsuit. Now, you might think that it's been dismissed, but I have reason to believe, and making a strong prediction as well, that the case is being refiled. So ask to see everything pertaining to it. If they don't give you the information, why don't you ask Dave Jerri Sr.? He's more than happy to meet with you guys. You got to be willing to meet with him. I'm going to get back to you on that one. While you're at it, too, ask why Neil Morris and his son are representing the mayor, Harran, Ponticelli, and all them, during this whole thing. Why were they being their personal attorney during this time? Because to me that's a conflict of interest, since he's the township's labor attorney. Why couldn't Harran and Ponticelli get their own personal attorney? And while we're at it, who is paying Neil Morris and his son for their services during all this? And who's going to continue to pay for them? Because like I said, I've got it on good authority and predicting this case is going to be refiled. Just watch. Also, I learned that the fire inspections department, somehow or another they're outsourcing it. What the heck is up with that? You should start asking Brian as well for proof that 222 is either following or exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act. And what I mean by that is this particular section, which I will be happy to go over. It's Section 29 CFR 553.100 and 553.102 and 104. It's basically to the extent that volunteers are not employees, and an employee cannot volunteer to do the same work for which he's being paid. I'll put it in a little more better English here, so to speak. And I have copies of this. Just look up the Fair Labor Standards Act and you'll see what I'm saying. It says here, because the CCO, or because the person works as a regular employee of the agency in which he also volunteers, we must determine whether his volunteer duties and the work he is employed to perform involve the same type of services. Well, basically, to put it, under the regulations, the same type of services should be interpreted to prohibit an employee from volunteering to perform work that is similar or identical to the type of work he is employed to perform. That's Section 29, CFR 553.103A. Just look up the Fair Labor Standards Act. That's all you guys have to do. Because it's right there. In short, they're either a paid or a volunteer. They can't be both. And the thing that they put in the safer grant that they're a combination paid and volunteer fire company, that's a load of bull. Because they've been nothing but a paid fire company. There's no volunteers with 222. And last but not least, because I'm wondering this myself, where in the world did that shiny, wonderful engine come from for 222? Where'd the money come from? You guys really need to start asking these important questions and start doing your jobs. Because I'm no longer going to hand you things on a silver platter. Okay? Seriously. And backtracking with Dave, Jerri, Brian, Joe, especially Joe, you've said you want to meet with him. Well, prove it. I'm going to talk with Dave, Jerri Sr. and schedule and finalize something. But you guys need to be willing to meet. Your last thing pertaining to it, which I believe I still have, in regards to it, Joe, was, what does it matter? What does he have to do with Bensalem Township? He's got plenty to do with it. He was part of Union Fire Company. He spoke out against what Fred and the mayor and Fred, were doing when it came to taking money from all the different volunteer fire departments to pay for funding 222 because they squandered the SAFER grant. They didn't use it properly. And that grant, another matter, filled out fraudulently. Like I said, again, another matter. But you guys need to start acting on this. Now I'm going to send a private message for Joe and Brian. And you need to listen on that. But the rest of you Dems, start doing something about this. Have a good day.